Cade Cavalli has been the feel-good second-half story for the Washington Nationals, but tonight he has an opportunity to not only continue that feel-good story, but to also make a statement.
You are Locked On Nationals, your daily Washington Nationals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And yes, I'm your host, Ryan Clary. We are the hosts of the Locked On Nationals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every single day. And later on in today's show, I've just kind of got my Nats needs for this weekend because, quite frankly, I think we all know what we need, and that is some young and youthfulness in this lineup. We'll discuss that later on in the show today. And in the second segment, number one overall pick in the 2025 MLB draft looked like the number one overall pick in the 2025 MLB draft. Eli Willits made his debut, and man, was he good. We'll discuss that later on in today's program. But Cade Cavalli is the talk of the town today. He makes his fourth start of the season, and this time around, he has a real chance to really kind of put some naysayers down and make a statement in today's game. I'll explain why, but today's episode is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for 2 to any golf tournament in the USA. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Excludes the Masters tournament, and this ends on October 31st, 2025. So Cade Cavalli now has a chance tonight to not only continue this really good stretch of pitching that he has put on, but to finally make a statement. And honestly, at this point, Cade Cavalli has kind of been like this hot topic because earlier on this summer, we all saw the 5 ERA that he had in AAA. We all saw that he was struggling, and there was a time they skipped one of his starts, and the rumors surrounding him just weren't really that positive. It was more so, man, this guy has not been able to really kind of crack getting past that Tommy John surgery. And so, you know what? Like a lot of fans and a lot of media members, including myself, we were all just kind of like, hey, like when Cade Cavalli does come up, I'll watch. But the expectations are pretty low, considering that he has not pitched in a big league game since 2022. He basically missed all of the last 2 seasons before this. And we all know why. It was because he was recovering from Tommy John surgery. And when you miss 2 years of anything, that is a big deal. Like the expectations for him were very, very low. Not only did we have low expectations, but you saw his name continue to drop in prospect rankings. And even at one point fell out of the Nationals' top 10 prospects. But Cade Cavalli now, after what he has done these past 3 starts, has an opportunity to really put a statement out there today that he is back. In going up against the Phillies, the last time around, the start that he's just coming off of, he went 7 innings pitched, walked 0 batters, which is the key for him because, again, his command is not the best. He has a tendency to really walk a lot of guys, as we saw his walk rate way up down in AAA. Striking out 5 batters in that start as well, and only giving up 7 hits in those 7 shutout innings. Cavalli was the best that you could have asked him to be. He got a lot of strikeout stuff. He had some swings and misses in there and didn't walk anybody. That was the dream start. And I think that tonight, going up against the Phillies again in the same week, back-to-back starts, this time up in Philadelphia, this is going to be a big deal for him. And not only just for himself, but also for, teams out there that potentially may have just slept on Cade Cavalli over the years. This feels different tonight. In going up against a good Phillies team and a good Phillies offense, seeing Kyle Schwarber again, seeing Bryce Harper again, seeing Trey Turner in the lineup, these are all premier all-star players. And in some cases, like Kyle Schwarber, he's in the MVP talks at this point. If Cade Cavalli can replicate what he did this past weekend against another very good Phillies team, this time up in Philadelphia, where it's starting to kind of cool down there and it's starting to feel like that red October vibe that they have all October long. That is a big deal to me because Cade Cavalli has always had the ace kind of stuff. He has always had that. He was a top 30 prospect entering 2022 in all of baseball. And so far, we have seen why. He is throwing this knuckle curve at times at a 32% rate. A 32% rate in which you see a knuckle curve. Number one, you don't really see knuckle curves all the time nowadays. That's kind of like a lost talent. Not only is he throwing it most of the time, but he's throwing it really well in that 12-6 way, that hammer curveball kind of way. I saw someone actually make this comparison. Now, settle down here real quick before I say this, but they said that it actually reminds them a lot of Clayton Kershaw, of the movement, of just the kind of up and then down. Like, you don't really see that all too often. You see a lot of guys try to go for that horizontal break, but Cade Cavalli goes to that old school vertical break, and as we have seen, it has above average vertical movement on his knuckle curve at this point. Cade Cavalli's knuckle curve has been the talk of town. And honestly, it has been a great pitch to watch because you see hitters look like a complete fool against it. And the other also good thing about this, when he throws this pitch 32% of the time, it looks like a strike 99% of the way, and that final 1% just drops down out of the zone. It is a beautiful pitch by Cade Cavalli. And then also his four-seam fastball that we have seen time and time again. That's what everyone raved about. He throws it at a 30% of the time. It's around 98 miles per hour, has touched 100 before, and Cade Cavalli still has that power four-seamer that we all love. That is a pitch where he can really jam hitters on the inside corner, which we have seen him do that at times. And he also has a sinker that he throws 21% of the time. Again, looks like a fastball, dips in the zone, really good pitch. And he throws a changeup that is right around 14% of the time that I actually think he might be able to throw a little bit more in some useful scenarios. But Cade Cavalli now, again, looking at tonight's matchup going up against the Phillies, it's never easy. Not only going up to Philadelphia, it does not matter how bad they are or how good they are. That is a really tough place to play and a tough place to pitch. But Cade Cavalli, the momentum is all his. He just whooped up on the Phillies this past time out, going 7 innings of shutout baseball, looked great. But now you have to do this twice in 1 week. This is his chance. This is his World Series, if we're being honest. And quite frankly, this might be the Nationals World Series. When we talk about our World Series wins at this point, we got 2019. That's great. But in 2025, it's beaten up in the New York Mets, which they just did yesterday. But it's Cade Cavalli starts as well, going up against really good offenses. And tonight, you get that opportunity. And I do believe that Cade Cavalli can and will take this opportunity and run with it against the Phillies. Cade Cavalli has been an exciting piece to the Stats future at this point. We kind of wrongfully left him for the dead at times without hearing much on his injury reports and not really discussing many of his starts down in AAA. But this guy has come up into the bigs, and he has made a massive difference for this team. And now you look at Mackenzie Gore, and then you also have Cade Cavalli as your number 2 guy at this point. This rotation feels pretty good, and there actually is some hope. We talked about the dream for the Nationals was always Mackenzie Gore and then Travis Sikora at some point next season. Unfortunately, Sikora actually just he just had Tommy John surgery just a few days ago, and looks like he'll be on the shelf for the next year plus, and hopefully we'll see him in the 2027 season. But now we can talk about Cade Cavalli as well. And it feels as if tonight, going up against the Phillies in Philadelphia for your second time in 1 week, the Phillies have to win this game. They're continuing the pace. They want that 1 seed in the National League. They want to catch up with the Brewers and the Dodgers and teams like that. The Phillies have an opportunity to do that. And again, they might be licking their lips, getting the opportunity to face a pitcher twice in 1 week. But Cade Cavalli also might be licking his lips, facing facing the Phillies for the second time in 1 week. So tonight's a big start for Cavalli. This will really be able to tell how legit he is. If he gets me through 5 innings plus, and then you get to go to the bullpen, which, by the way, bullpen's been really good as of late, then you have to feel good about Cade Cavalli moving forward. So he has the chance to make a statement, and the numbers that he has put up, the swings and misses that he has generated, the average exit velos that have been really low against him, this will be on display tonight going up against the Phillies, and I simply cannot wait. Thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we're free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And yes, again, look us up, Locked On Nationals, wherever you get your pods. Next, let's talk about Eli Willits. Man, was he impressive yesterday. Oh my gosh. 17 years old, making an impact in the low A Fredericksburg. Let's talk about that after this. Time to fuel up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. This grape, ginger, and lime flavored shot brings the iconic taste of a golf course favorite to a non-alcoholic boost. Perfect for sinking birdies or making great memories with friends. It's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Whether you're out on the course or just need a little extra push to power through your day, 5-Hour Energy Transfusion delivers a clubhouse flavor that you love without ever leaving the green. And maybe you watched the wildest shot that you had ever seen this past week. You know what would make it a little bit more fun and give you that little extra energy boost? That 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. Because not only do I use it before I go to the golf course, I can also use it before I work out. And also, maybe it's just a nice little poolside drink. You only have a few more weekends left at the pool. Enjoy it with a 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. And now you can amp up the fun even more and just buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for 2 to any golf tournaments in the USA. So tee up that trip and visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase is necessary. Excludes the Masters tournament, and this tournament ends on October 31st, 2025. Again, visit 5hewin.com. And thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcast. And yes, Eli Willits, what a show in his MLB or minor league baseball debut, rather. The Nationals' number 1 overall prospect, the number 1 overall pick, showed why he was the number 1 overall pick in yesterday's game. First and foremost, before we jump really into it, I need everyone to understand this. He is 17 years old. Eli Willits, the number 1 overall pick, the youngest number 1 overall pick of all time in Major League Baseball, is 17 years old. He does not turn 18 until December. This is what Eli Willits should be doing. He should be raising his hand and asking his teacher to use the restroom. I'm serious. He should be in a senior year class right now of high school, asking his teacher to use the restroom. Yet he is having 3 hits in his minor league debut and impressing and clearly showing why the Nationals took him number 1 overall in just his first game. So let's jump into that here. And again, this kid is 17 years old doing the things that he did yesterday. So enough talking about how he has to raise his hand to use the bathroom. I just wanted to emphasize how young this kid is. Again, he's 17 years old, if you did not hear that. His first hit was between the shortstop and third base side to get things started in yesterday's game. And I just want to say this, I do believe most people know this, but he is a switch hitter. So you saw him batting from the left side of the plate, going up against some right-handed pitching yesterday. But right then and there, the first hit of the game for him, I mean, it was a nice, solid piece of hitting there. Wasn't anything too crazy, but also a little sexy, I will say. I love the fact that his first hit was going the other way, hard contact through the hole of shortstop and third base. Again, it's one game, but that just kind of goes to show you the elite hitting tool that he has. He is not afraid to have a ball on the outside of the plate, really kind of getting into it, chopping it the other way, And that's the kind of hitter that I think we will be getting with Eli Willits. You didn't see this massive power hitter that you see with Elijah Green, who, by the way, has been really good in Fredericksburg the past few weeks. You're not going to see this massive power and these huge exit velos from him. I do believe that you will and could see that down the road here as he develops. But why the Nationals took him was because of his hit tool. And that showed out in yesterday's game as he added 3 hits in his first 4 at-bats. And also, not only that, but he drew a really nice 5-pitch walk. Again, the IQ of this guy with Eli Willits, or this kid, I guess we could even say, is really high for such a young age. That is something that I think a lot of Nationals fans can and will get excited about. Eli Willits is a very, very good prospect. Like, again, he is not going to come in and play the Washington Nationals next season and just tear things up and be on the opening day roster in 2027. I don't anticipate that at this point. But what I do anticipate with Eli Willits is a very good high IQ player. And we saw all the tools yesterday. As soon as he got on first base with his first hit, he then stole second base, flashing his speed. You saw him play defensively at shortstop as well. Again, flashing his defensive skill set. Eli Willits is a very, very good prospect. And might I just add this? He's still only 17. I mean, that is the ridiculous part of this. He is, yes, 6'1" at this point in time, but he's still going to grow just a little bit more as he gets acclimated with the Washington Nationals. But seeing what he did in yesterday's game just makes you happy. It just kind of makes you feel full, I guess you could say, in a sense. The Nationals have not done well developing prospects, but seeing this 17-year-old kid with the expectations, all the lights surrounding Eli Willits at this point, being that number 1 overall pick, and having that success in his first game and first action as a minor league player, that feels good. So over these next few weeks, watching Eli Willits, it's going to be a lot of fun. Because again, the talent jumps out at you. The defense is solid. The hitting ability is elite. The stolen base threat is real. He has got some really exciting tools. And as the years go by, I do believe that power will come. And you're going to see it a lot, by the way. So seeing yesterday on the scale of why he went number 1 overall, you got to see it. Going 3 for 4, drawing a really good walk there as well, a 5-pitch walk, stealing a base, playing shortstop in his debut. That's my number 1 overall pick, and I'm excited about Eli Willits' move. And Petrie, real quick. He was the Nationals' 2nd-round pick out of South Carolina, and I just wanted to highlight his performance because he has been really good so far in Fredericksburg. So before we move on, Ethan Petrie, again, really talented player for the Nationals. The 2nd-round pick at a USC this past year. He dealt with some injuries. He was actually supposed to be a 1st-round pick in a lot of different mocks before this past season. Did get hurt, but so far, his 60-grade power has really popped off the page. He's batting .395 with a 1068 OPS. He's got his first home run, which he hit just the other day. He's got a triple. He's got a couple of doubles in there as well. And he has 7 walks to his 10 strikeouts at this point in very limited action. But 15 hits in his first 10 games in Fredericksburg, you will take that any single day. So right now, if you are a Nationals fan in the Fredericksburg area, I encourage you to go down and see Ethan Petrie, number 1, but also see Eli Willits, the number 1 overall pick in this year's draft. These guys, I think Willits will likely be there in Fredericksburg to begin next season. Maybe he gets moved up to high A. Who knows at this point? Who knows how aggressive the new Nationals GM will be? But I would expect for him to be there moving forward. Petrie, I think he could easily kind of be on this fast lane to high A Wilmington and hopefully sees what he does in high A. But as of right now, if you're in Fredericksburg or if you're in the DMV area, go down to Fredericksburg this weekend. Watch these 2 guys play because who knows how long they'll be there. And honestly, I kind of have a gut feeling that it will not be for that long. These guys are really good, exciting prospects moving forward. So I totally expect everyone, especially you out there, to go and watch the Fred Nats. So keep your eye on for that, as Eli Willits showed me why he was the number one overall pick in the 2025 MLB draft. But now let's get into this, because quite frankly, I've got some needs for this weekend, and it starts with Miguel Cairo. And thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcast. So we're going to get into some nitty gritty stuff for the Washington Nationals, because quite frankly, I've had it up to about here. And if you can't see, it's because I've had it at the top. That's why. Miguel Cairo, let's have a seat. Let's talk. Let's just talk real quick. Why do you keep on leaving off Robert Hassel III and or Dalen Lyle and or Brady House? Why can't we figure this out? What is stopping us from putting everybody in that lineup today and tonight? What is there to lose? I get that you have to go out there and try to win every single game. But Mike DeBartolo has said as much, that this season in the second half is about the young guys and their development. Last time I checked, Paul DeJong is not developing for the future here. He is going to be gone and signing a major league deal with another team this offseason. And I like DeJong. He's good, but that's quite frankly what we want. We don't want Paul DeJong in the lineup every day. You can't trade him this offseason. There is no point in having Paul DeJong crush the baseball with having Brady House sit on the bench. Now, luckily in yesterday's game, that's not what we saw. We saw Brady House in there, and he had a 3-hit game and looked really good against Sean Manaea. Again, a left-handed pitcher, which he has actually kind of struggled with at times going up against left-handed pitching. If you look down at his splits in AAA, he did not crush left-handed pitching in a rate that we have seen top prospect for the Nationals do in the past. But right now, that lineup yesterday, we just got to get more young guys in there. And Jacob Young playing center field every single day is not going to be it for me. And now I will say this, they have finally moved past that, because let's be honest, I believe Jacob Young at this point, as far as like 250 qualified hitters in baseball, has the third lowest weighted runs created plus. That kind of tells you what it is with Jacob Young. And for those who may not know that stat indicates that he is a well below average hitter. He is not getting the best at-bats in there. He is not putting the ball at a elite rate. He does not have a high batting average. He does not have a high OBP. And boy, does he not have a high slug at all. At some point, the Nationals will have to change this. And I think hopefully after Brady House having a 3-hit game, there is no chance Miguel Cairo can bench him today. And hopefully you see Robert Hassel III in the lineup tonight as well. Hopefully we see Dalen Lyle in the lineup as well. I will say this, my guy, I love him. Robert Hassel III has really struggled as of late here, but I also want to see him get consistent at bats, because right now doing these mental reps, they're not working. They're not going to work for anyone. So with the Washington Nationals tonight going up against Taijuan Walker, and we've got Cade Cavalli in the bump, this is your chance to put together a youthful lineup that we need. Because right now, playing Paul DeJong is not going to do much for this team, and it's certainly not going to do much for the long run of these younger prospects. So Miguel Cairo, tonight against the Phillies, they're a great team. Please play the young guys. It's not just about winning games, unfortunately. I know you have a job to save, but you're not going to get the manager job at this point. We all know that, and you know that as well. Play the young guys. Put together a lineup that helps his team in the future, and then if the Nationals and Robert Hassel III and Dalen Lyle and Brady House are all part of the core moving forward, you get the credit for helping to develop them. You scratch my back, and I'll scratch your back, Miguel Cairo. That seems like a fair deal. So with the Phillies, playing against the Nats up in Philly this weekend. It'll be a fun series. And as we said, Cade Cavalli has a chance to make a statement tonight, and that's going to be a fun one going up against the Phillies. So stay tuned for a Monday show. Again, we'll recap this Phillies series and much more and see how Eli Willits did in his first weekend as a Fredericksburg National. So until then, have a good one. Go Nats.